Hello, and welcome to the Business in Abundance interview series, where I interview mind, body, spirit, and wellness entrepreneurs, coaches, startups. And today I have with me the beautiful, now I hope I pronounce this correctly, Agne Paceviciute. Is that how you say your
Well,
last
you did it very well.
name?
Yeah, Agne Paceviciute. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful name. Um, I'm going to allow Agna to describe what she does and who she is, but I will say that she is a transformational quantum energy healer and coach. And I'd love to hear more from your mouth how you describe what you do. And if you could just share with us a little bit, where are you from, and what you do, just a little bit, because I know that there's a whole lot to what you do,
Right.
and then we'll dive into some more questions.
Yeah, so I am a quantum healing practitioner or advanced quantum healing practitioner. It's a unique modality that was not really exposed to the world. So I guide people, mostly light workers, spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, through their quantum transformation. So that's in short what I do. I live in Sweden, but I work worldwide through online space. Um, yeah, and it's really exciting to be here. I wanted to say
Amazing.
thank you for you. Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you for being here. So I don't know that everyone in the audience knows what is quantum healing, and I think this word has come up a lot. More recently, we're starting to hear words
Sure.
like 5D and quantum
Mhm.
healing and quantum, what does that mean?
Right, so it is almost like a philosophy in a sense, and many practitioners are using this name, so that's why it probably is a bit tricky. But quantum for me, it's bypassing laws of physics and reality. So uh, no time, no space, meaning that experiences or shifts can happen really fast. Healing can happen really fast. Transformation in people's lives really happens faster and faster, so to say. As before, people would go through years of therapy, uh, the shift with quantum healing can happen in a session. So that's the difference for me, and that's what quantum means from this perspective.
And what would you say to somebody who asks, how is this possible?
Oh, yeah, good question. Because what's possible, or what we believe is possible, is completely based on our past experiences and programming that we received through life. So the only limits are in our thinking and in our beliefs. Changing the beliefs changes our reality, changes our experiences. And that's what I do. I help shift your beliefs and dissolve emotional energy blocks, allowing you to experience anything you desire in life.
I love that. And of course, I'm a believer in that our thoughts create reality
That's right.
and our perception of reality as well.
That's
I
right.
know that you came about this kind of, through your own path and your own journey of healing. Is there some of that you might share with us about kind of what you experienced and what brought you into this space of wanting to be transformational and work in the quantum field?
Right. So for many, many years, I had this deep knowing that I'm here on earth to do something big, but at the same time, I didn't know who I am and what my purpose is. And that inner conflict was driving me to explore the mindset, the spirituality, inner experiences. I come from a scientific background. I was studying biomedical science, and that didn't give me answers I was looking for. So I kind of shifted. I realized that what I was living was based on society standards, programming, and a lot of limitations. And I was just like, there has to be a better way. So I started looking in different directions: spirituality, self help, psychology, all those things. And through one of modalities or experiences I had, I tapped into my spiritual awakening. That was the most beautiful and blissful experience, and it shifted everything for me. Uh, I was just having that love for life. Um, the shift happened overnight for me so dramatically that I was I realized that's my purpose, to guide other people to this experience. And I was looking for the tool that will enable that. And that's how quantum healing showed up in my life. A line of beautiful synchronicities led me to the founder of this modality, and he became a mentor and taught me all the elements of these processes that enabled me to guide others through their spiritual journey, through their inner transformation, and really change their lives.
I've heard that before, that for people sometimes they go through either sort of a dark night of the soul, or it could be a low point, or feeling, darkness and sadness, and that sort of questioning, who am I, what am I here for, what is my purpose?
Right.
And then this spiritual awakening experience will happen, and then it's like you said before, what how you described this quantum space, it happens very fast.
It
It's
happens
very
fast.
transformative, almost like you don't know what just happened, but whether you have, a whole new perspective on life, or you've been transformed in some way, whether this is actually a physical cellular experience, you know, it's pretty powerful, and I've heard a lot of people say a very, very similar thing, and I'd love to hear, like,
Right.
what's your thoughts about on how this shift can sometimes happen? Because I see this also happen sometimes with people where they may even be suicidal, or
Right.
close to death, or, like, very, very
Depression is coming.
depression, in the depths of despair, feeling extremely lost, and
Yes.
then they have this awakening. And I've heard a lot of
Yes.
people describe the awakening. How would you describe, like, what does that feel like?
Oh, it feel so for me. It felt like I got the 3D glasses to wear. You know, when you everything got brighter in my view, the colors more vibrant, the sensations in the body more intense, as if like I got a new life experience. That unconditional love was flowing through my heart. You know, the fear disappears to some extent. It's just for me, it was alignment with my soul, or discovering that deep connection with my soul and inner guidance. Since the day of that spiritual awakening, I would notice signs for me, in messages coming through, my answers. If I have a thought like questioning something, the answer comes right away, as if I was channeling the source energy through me. That's how it felt.
That's really beautiful. I love that. What are some of the things that people come to you specifically with, wanting to heal, or are they seeking this connection, this sort of spiritual experience? So what are some of the questions they might have, and what would a session with you be like?
All right. Yeah, so often people come feeling stuck. And that can be in different experiences. Some people are dealing with physical conditions, health issues, and they have lost hope, or they no longer trust the Western medicine. And they know that they are powerful and capable of healing themselves. They just need the tools to experience that. So I had a couple of clients with cancer that after a few sessions, the cancer dropped significantly, the measurements. I had clients who want to improve their business, who feel stuck in the business and searching for more guidance. Activating the intuition shifted so much again. They started receiving the next step they need to take in business to evolve and expand. Other people with past traumas, they really need to let go and liberate themselves to be able to step into their fullest potential. And trauma is something that it can be really small, it can be big thing. So it's quite general description, but there are things that are holding us back from stepping into our full potential and that full power. And through my sessions, big shifts happens really fast.
So you've mentioned that you had a scientific background,
That's
and
right.
you also just mentioned that there are ways that this can heal the body physically. And so I think, it makes me really think, what is it that happens? And almost what's coming to my mind is like, we all have access to this quantum healing. We have access to, you know, heal what's within ourselves, clear
True.
trauma, any of those things.
Right.
But what provides that channel and what really allows that to come in and work for us and with us, and how do we tap into that?
So, in the most simple terms, I would say, and what quantum healing is based on, is the establishing communication between your mind, body, and soul. We can communicate, and our system is communicating with every aspect of it. So your body is a signaling mechanism. It doesn't want to hurt you, but it begs for attention. And usually, physical conditions, physical pain, is just a signal to address some unresolved emotions or trauma. And just to understand that is one step, one big step. But in quantum healing, I create the connection with the soul, and the soul has that capacity to heal anything and everything in no time. So, because of that connection, the healing happens through this process. So, basically, what we are living or believing in our society, that is just mind and body, right? That's what our experience is based. But when we incorporate the soul aspect, then everything changes.
That is really beautiful, and I think really true. And I think there's a lot of people out there that don't even tap into that side of themselves, even though we each
Yeah.
have that. So there are,
Yeah.
these incredible channels really that can allow us to get there. And I know you mentioned the man that you learned from and who was your mentor. Um,
Mhm.
he was a very special person. He actually pioneered
Yes.
some of this type of quantum healing work. Can you share a little bit more about him and kind of how you came into this work yourself?
Yeah, so I met Dick Harbers like 3 years ago. And back then it was all the COVID craziness happening in the world. And that was the reason he came into online space. He was doing this work in live, face to face with people. So it kind of created that opportunity for me to connect to him. And when I started exploring his work, I knew this is the tool that I've been looking for. that will help me guide others through their spiritual awakening and evolution. And we just connected. He became my mentor and teacher. He was teaching me all the processes that he has created. A lot of it is also channeled, so it's received information, and it's structured, very logical processes, allowing you to understand your human operating system and set it up for success. Clear and dissolve those limiting structures, and really to come into alignment with your soul and live from that inner power. So he was teaching me all these beautiful experiences, and eventually I started expanding and exploring, creating new processes. And last year, unfortunately, he passed away and left me with all this knowledge and experience. So it became my mission to bring this modality to the world.
Well, it's a beautiful mission, and I'm really excited to share what you do and who you are. And I do want to share your website here with everyone because Agne has a beautiful, beautiful site. But she really goes into a lot more detail about kind of, there's some meditations and some videos, and you can really kind of understand and get a better feel for what this means, especially if you're curious about quantum healing. So it's qheal.life. So
Yes.
I encourage you to check her out. Now, there's another aspect of this that I find really, really fascinating, and I would love to hear you share a little bit more about. You've actually been able to connect to. I don't even want to call them beings. It's a dimension. It's almost like, would you say it's like another timeline, or it's a dimension in a
Another
dimension in this
dimension.
quantum field where you communicate? And can you share a little bit about that?
So, yeah, I was playing with quantum healing tools basically, and my intention was to explore what's possible for a human being to experience. In a spiritual realm, I went deep. I activated my channeling skill set, and I basically received a connection of star seeds from 12th dimension. Um, and dimensions is a quite a tricky thing to explain, but everything is happening simultaneously. The question is what we are aware of in the moment. So I was receiving both information and healing tools and different spiritual technology that helps me to, again, hold space and provide different processes for my clients. This is beyond quantum healing. This is more like my superpower that I developed through that connection.
Hmm.
And I am able to scan through person's energy remotely, notice their blockages, and very often shift the blocks energetically through light codes, light language, and things like that. I know there's a bunch of weird words here, but those people who are interested are probably familiar with that will resonate.
Yeah, I find it so fascinating, and um, these ideas definitely are not new to me. I live, not far from Mount Shasta. I don't know if you've heard
Right.
of
Yes.
Mount
Yes.
Shasta, but there's definitely, I don't know. People talk about life forms that may or may not live in Mount Shasta, and everybody has different beliefs about this. But
For sure.
I've recently experienced, like an Akashic records reading and some other things
Yeah.
where maybe it doesn't make sense when talking about it because people can't relate, but when you experience it and you feel that shift and you feel the integration or the clarity or the healing or the transformation. And I'm somebody very open minded. So I've tried a lot of different things to tap in, just like you probably were when you started to experience,
Yes.
the quantum and you wanted to learn about these different things. And it's almost like the more you play in the energetics of these things with the positive and a beautiful intention, you draw in more psychic abilities and awareness
Yeah.
and the space to tap into whatever is out there that you're meant to see and feel and experience, right? Does
Yes.
any of that
Yes.
kind of resonate for you?
It does. It does for sure. And like I have had very weird and interesting experiences that normally people achieve through psychedelics, to my knowledge. For me, it was happening just like that. I have tapped into my past life experiences, other people's energy in another side of the world, like really experiencing what they are going through, and helping energetically to shift and clear, release those emotions, for example. Yeah. So and on its own, that communication with other beings is so powerful. Receiving downloads and transmissions, those spiritual tools, it's a special thing.
And I believe that, we all have the ability to tap into our intuition, right?
Oh yes.
And our psychic abilities and see things. But I think that some people, and maybe when you had this spiritual awakening and start to step into this, where you're really studying this and learning and opening up to it, you do become the conduit for sharing these things. And it's almost like it's not about you, it's not even about helping an individual, it's much more of a universal or a global mission and a purpose to bring something light where it's needed, to bring light where it's needed. And I'm noticing the more I talk to spiritual entrepreneurs and people doing this work, there are more people almost being called to action and to step forward. And maybe even they didn't know they had these gifts, or they did and they were afraid to really like utilize them and put them out there. But more and more people now are doing just that because we need it. This planet needs healing and the people need healing. And, it's much bigger. It's much bigger. So I see that when you kind of, you've been able to tap into this and have these messages and bring quantum healing, it's for a much bigger purpose.
Definitely, yes. It is. We have that drive to share and to create the change in the world. I believe really that the best way we create the change in the world is by creating the change in us. It's not that we are here to heal the world. The main intention is to heal yourself, and through that connection, the shifts are happening in the world. I have experienced deep processes for myself, releasing my trauma, and I notice how it reflects in the collective energy. So that's how we heal the world. And yes, yes, we're here to bring the light and to share and to raise the vibration and to create that shift.
I got this image of like, we're here to heal ourselves, but it spreads. It's like there's a healing virus. So it's a good
Yes,
thing. Like when you start to do your inner work and heal your trauma and start to really bring that awareness, it's almost like you emanate that, and the people that around you or whose lives you touch or who you interact with
yes.
start to feel that, and they get some of that energy, and maybe that starts to heal something in them or open up their eyes to diving into that piece of themselves.
Yes, it opens the possibility for them to heal. And it's still a free choice for every single person to step into that power and to look for ways to heal. But just we shifting the energy and uplifting that vibration creates that ripple and opens possibilities for others, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, if people are curious and want to experience quantum healing or learn more, I do have, Agne has offered a mini complimentary experience with her, which is extremely generous. So if you've got your phone, you can point it here. I think it takes you to a booking link, and you can
Yes.
actually schedule a mini experience, or if you want to dive in a little more and ask some questions, more questions about what this is, quantum healing, and how this might impact your life.
Yes. I just wanted to either, if some people just want to have a conversation and know more and have more understanding of it, I really love to connect with new people. And I can as well guide you through mini quantum healing experience for you to really know what that is and to make decisions if this is something that you want to explore deeper or not.
Well, I noticed something after I met you the first time. And so I don't know if you were doing some quantum healing or if it's just your presence, but I just felt really good. Really just like relaxed yet energized. So it was like a calm. Um, I tend to get overwhelmed very easily and can go into a place of stress, but I've noticed after both times now speaking with you that it's like that just gets washed away. There's like a very calm, there's a clarity, but I also feel like laser sharp in a good way.
Beautiful. That's
Yeah,
almost like a compliment for me because I hear that from many people. The calm energy that I hold, they kind of resonate to that. And yes, I'm
it's
craving
very
that in
balancing.
this space. Mhm.
It's very balancing. It's very needed. So I encourage you guys to check out her website, learn more about Agne, go book a mini complimentary experience with her. And I'm just so grateful for you being here today and sharing your story and sharing what you do. And, maybe for those who are out there who are curious and have heard a little bit about this, this might prompt them to learn a little bit more and explore this for themselves.
Definitely. I appreciate this conversation. I thank you for organizing this. Yeah, and everybody else, if you are interested or curious at least, just schedule a call and let's talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for being here today. And I know it's very late in Sweden. What time is it for you?
It is late. Yeah.
It's very late. So thank you for coming at this time of night for you. And I look forward to experiencing more of your incredible healing energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye.